It is really common for people, especially those who are a little bit more bendy and have lots of movement in their low backs, to struggle to actually find a hip flexor stretch that is effective. So the hip flexors are the front of your hip. And a lot of people, when they go into this stretch, we do things like really lean into the lunge, and sometimes this works. Maybe for some people right away, maybe not for others ever, but eventually a lot of people will be like, well, I feel like I'm really far into this, but I don't feel anything stretching. Well, if your hip flexors are attached up here and this is moving, we're essentially slacking them. So what we need to do is learn how to control your lumbar spine to flex the lumbar spine. So if you place your hand on your back and press your spine into it, then from there, we are going to maintain that position and move forward into that lunge position until we feel a stretch. For a lot of people, this means we need to really actively engage our low abs, which is kind of hard, but that is what stretching is. There's actually a lot of active component, even if you are just stretching something quote unquote passively. So for a lot of people who struggle with this type of movement, we can use things like a band for some tactile feedback. So you're going to pick a band that is not super thick, but you need to be able to feel a little bit of resistance and feel some sensation. You're going to put it on the lowest part of your back, right above your pelvis. And then from here, we can press in to that band, and now you can become more aware, especially if putting your hand there is kind of hard long-term because you're trying to balance. Now you can hold with one hand, hold here, or we don't have to have our hands back here, which can also be hard if you have shoulder mobility limitations. So from here, we're going to press our backs into the band. Then we're going to pull ourselves forwards, and you actively are pressing as much as you can here. And then as you lean forward, now we are effectively stretching the hip flexors, and you can get more of a sensation here. So if you are struggling with finding an actual effective hip flexor stretch, that is one of the first things I would do, is start to learn how to move your spine and then do so with a band. And honestly, there are a lot of other drills you can do, like hinge point training outside of this, that are probably gonna be helpful in learning how to build lower ab strength so that you can use those abs to really hold the position of the pelvis and get a more effective hip flexor stretch. But sometimes just using a simple band can make the world of a difference.